the biggest mistake that you're making on the dating apps right now is what I call the black hole of dating. The black hole of dating is when you communicate up front with him for weeks and it feels like you have a relationship when you actually have zero relationship, and then it ends up fizzling out anyway.
I would have called the black hole of dating those individuals who offer one or two mediocre things on their part at the most and then expect you to come into their vortex of a life and fill it with your time, emotions, and resources. But I guess her definition of too much communication before actually meeting can somehow be a black hole. Let's hear the rest of what she has to say.
When a man has intimacy issues, he loves the feeling of having this false relationship virtually, and he gets really excited about it, and he really enjoys to talk to you, and he says good morning, and he says good night, and he says how was your day, and it starts to feel like you have a relationship.
That, by definition, would be a relationship of communication, similar to having social media friends you've never met that live in other parts of the country. Be cool with them, chat and joke, but don't look at it as a black hole. If anything, treat it as your daily sup and shout out.
What I want you to do instead is gently and assertively lead the communication with a man to confirm a phone call or a date within the first 24 to 48 hours. After talking back and forth a bit, just say gently, "This would feel so much better to discuss in person." Or, "I'd really love to hear your voice. How about we move this on to a phone call?"
I 100% agree with that. I still don't agree with calling it a black hole, but I completely see the issue she's addressing. And I cannot dispute her solution. After a phone call or two, schedule a simple meetup like two grown adults. Dang, I never thought I would hear a good next move idea from a woman in a snakeskin dress. Keep it up, girl. Moving on.
Well, hello, ma'am. I'm going to tell you 5 men that you really want to avoid ever dating and probably marrying. Up first is the pretty boy. Ma'am, it's just a no, ma'am. They're good to look at, but oftentimes they're deficient in other areas. They don't know how to pursue a woman. They think women are supposed to come to them, and then you have to compete with them in the mirror. It's a no, ma'am, for the pretty boys.
I am not a self-proclaimed master certified love coach, but I'm going to take a crack at this. Let me address the white elephant in the room, and that is her reasoning for not dating a pretty boy is based on personal confidence issues. Deficient in other areas, she just described what men say about dating an attractive woman, and men don't use that as an excuse not to date. Not pursuing a woman and women come to them, I call shenanigans. Even the most physically attractive guys have to pursue women. Women don't make the first move. This reasoning screams of insecurity.
Next up, it's going to make a lot of people upset and in their feels, but I'm going to say it with my chest sticking out, and it's the mama's boys. They make the worst husbands ever. They don't understand the boundaries and that their wife should come first and will let their mother disrespect their woman. It's a no, ma'am in this toxic relationship here.
And thanks to the family courts, laws, and the system that rewards women for putting in for that 70% of all divorces, a huge percentage of young men are brought up by single mothers, taught how to date by single mothers, and act exactly how women have conditioned them to. Let's analyze her logic. Avoid the men single mothers have created. Marry more traditional men. Keep the high divorce rates going. Destroy the marriage in family court. Rinse and repeat.
The next up are the men who change jobs like they change underwear. They are unstable, they have commitment issues, and there's too many uncertainties with them. It's a no, ma'am.
Women don't build with men who are struggling, i.e., they don't run with men in a marathon. They just hang out at the finish line to get with the winners. I'm not saying women should support bums, but just because a man switches jobs once or twice a year doesn't necessarily mean he is not on his purpose. But she stated what women look for. Security. Only to divorce it later for an alimony and child support cash out, you know?
And the man who calls women bitches is an absolute no, ma'am.
Derogatory names from either men or women to each other should not be tolerated. But then again, who am I to dictate what two people are comfortable calling each other? Also, those were only 4 types of men. She said she was going to mention 5. Oh well, moving on.
Okay, ladies, here's what guys actually mean when they say these things. I'm not sure what I want. I want to keep my options open, but I still want to keep you around.
Men rarely use any type of encryption when they communicate. If he says he's not sure, he probably means exactly that. Her translation is literally what women mean when they say that phrase. As in, she is not totally attracted to the guy, but she's keeping him around as a solid backup plan.
My ex was crazy. My ex was perfectly sane in the beginning, but I drove her crazy.
Oh no. This young lady completely lost credibility when she said perfectly sane in the beginning. That's a pure fempisode example right there. Sorry, but acknowledging fempisode symptoms is purely one way, and that is only on the person showing said symptoms. That's like finding out you inherited hemophilia and then you blame the doctor because you were okay in the beginning.
You're overreacting. I know I was in the wrong, but I don't want to take accountability.
Women never overreact? Really? She literally is claiming every time a woman is told she overreacted by a man, it means he is wrong, period. Talk about gender privilege. This is truly the blind leading the blind. This young lady really needs to grow up, get more life experience, and stop giving other young women such airtight advice. More like airhead advice. I initially thought this was an attempt at some sort of dating comedy until I read the comments to this video where several other young women kept saying, "Speak your truth, girl." Yeah, there isn't a your truth. You're either right or you're wrong, and this young lady is not in the right. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.